Asian Star 101.6 FM. Welcome along Friday night. DJ Haashim live as we do it each and every week. And you know what? As we do have celebrities who pass through weekly here, as well as, a variety of influencers, comedians, artists. And we have just got another big Hall of Famer joining me now. A man who has literally been in the Bhangra music industry, I'll say the UK Bhangra in music industry, since its early inception, the late 90s, early 2000s. He's been absolutely killing the Bhangra music scene worldwide. And we'd like to welcome to Asian Star Radio the legendary Panjabi MC. Welcome along.
No, thank you. No, it's a pleasure to be here in Slough on Asian Star, and thank you for having me.
Now, welcome along. Is this your first time back in how long?
A while.
Yeah,
a few years. Obviously, Ray used to have me on the show 2-3 times in the past, and so now we're kind of like things have kind of like moved on and stuff. So it's been a while, man.
Yeah, it's good to have you along, man. And how you feeling, man? Describe yourself in 3 words right now. How you feeling?
Right now, good. I would say happy and working.
That's great, man. It's good to see the positive vibes coming your way.
Yeah.
So we're here to talk about your latest project, which is just released a few weeks back.
Okay.
56 districts. How's it doing? What's the response like?
It's doing all right. I mean, I don't know how it's doing in terms of sales and everything, but from what people tell me, the people are liking it. A lot of good response, positive vibes from that.
Has that been worldwide, mostly from the UK? Where's your response really come from?
Yeah, I get a lot of my feedback comes from, I guess from worldwide, I'd say, with my personal network, and also just watching the response on, for example, YouTube or stuff like that, comments and stuff like that. So they seem to be all positive.
And what about from the music industry? Has there been response been
again?
Great?
I mean, I have to say, it's been really positive from the whole industry in terms of other musicians, media, and so far, no one's had a bad word to say about it.
Brilliant.
And I'm open if someone has, but so far no one has.
Constructive criticism.
Yeah.
So how long did you spend on 56 districts, though, may I ask?
Altogether, I'd say probably a couple of years.
Okay.
Yeah, for all of the songs, from start to finish. Because I had a few shows in between, and I did do some of the recordings in India. So I went out there twice, actually. I was out there to do shows anyway, but it's good to kind of take that time out and record some stuff.
And did the album itself have some sort of sentimental value, because it's quite a deep name? The tracks on the album as well are quite deep as well, and it's actually quite a variety of songs which you've put and composed together.
Yeah, it is. It's like a compilation of songs. I guess when I do shows and gigs and I'm playing songs, I like trying different songs out. So this is the kind of the selection which got a most response, I would say, at the shows, especially across the dance floor, worldwide, across the board. And the thing is, what it was with this album as well, and the title 56 Districts, was just that. It kind of clicked to me that I used to go in studios for many years, and I used to record Luguje and Doors and stuff, whatever,
live.
For my recordings and stuff, I used to, the live musicians and stuff, especially around India. And I'm just saying, there was a lot of musicians that I didn't record who were just are classical musicians or more traditional type musicians, and someone were playing really individually weird kind of instruments, whatever. And so I wasn't never interested in those guys, but I just went in there to do the main recordings. But then kind of, like I say, one day it clicked to me that, why don't I record, all these different diverse instruments, because they are in fact Panjabi instruments as well. So that's where I thought, and looking into it, I realised that they do come from different areas of India, different jille and stuff, so the bean and stuff, whatever is from a certain area and stuff originally, kind of thing. Yeah, I'm not saying it's originally from Punjab, but I think when it was brought into Punjab, it remained around a specific area, and that's where you go to get the best bean players.
Right.
And that's where you find them actually doing their snake charm all over the town and stuff.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
And so did you record most of the album in India, or did you do it mostly in your studios here in the UK?
The music parts, a lot of that was recorded in India, the musicians and stuff, because I wanted to get different musicians who like I say, over the years I didn't use in the past, so and they're pretty phenomenal musicians. A lot of them are basically trained from a young age,
and
so it's in their family, and that's their family kind of trade. So there's a very deep sound that they give you.
And the album name, 56 Districts, why that name? Why did you choose to name it that?
Well, because it's like, Punjab, people say 5 rivers, so you could say 56 districts, meaning the amount of districts that's in Punjab, and so it's another way of saying Punjab. But just to say that, I kind of like, we're going into a slightly different music, rather than just sampling pure like Laguje or whatever. There's a lot of kind of different, even with the Tumbis, I try to get different Tumbi sounds from different areas of India and stuff. And
did you think that, by having these various sounds would give your album a different touch rather than what you've done and released in the past? Is it giving it more of a modern edge?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I just, it was just something that I started doing because I thought it was, something different, rather than always using the same instruments. I thought we'll use them in a different way and let the people express, their kind of like traditions and, their culture. Stuff.
So when putting music together or putting a track together, do you usually have it in your head, right, I want to make this a dancehall banger? Is that more so your approach when you're putting things together?
I think that is kind of like the main primary thing, that I look at, because I'm a DJ, and so my main thing how I make songs is for me to play at gigs and stuff like that, when I DJ, because then it's like I've got songs that other DJs haven't got, which is what every DJ wants, kind of thing, so that's how I start making all these like what I call dub plates, and then so eventually if something's sort of like getting a lot of reaction, then I might look at finishing it off or whatever and putting it out.
But you've also done in the past, you've also used, I think, certain dub plates, as you like to call it, on 2 different tracks. Like you used, you did Jindamahi, the original, and then you reused that on Jatti as well. Yeah. So, do you find that works?
What it is, I mean, I think with Jatti, I think it was, it was like a tribute to Jindamahi almost. That's what it was, and I thought that. Because with Jindamahi it's a traditional song.
Complete.
So I thought with Jatti I was adding, maybe I try adding some drums on there. But, sometimes, I guess it was like, basically, when I play the song on the dance floor and it's working and it's going off, whatever, sometimes it's difficult to even work out why that is, because you think to yourself, like, is it because it sounds like Jatti? Like Jindamahi, or is it because of the song or whatever, and then when I used to say to people, like, do you think it sounds a bit too much like Jindamahi, and then they were like, which one, so a lot of people didn't kind of even relate to it, but so that's why I kind of I thought it's getting a great reaction from this,
And obviously you've been working with a number of various, I'd say, vocalists, especially on this album. Like you've had, for Pichani Chaddi, you had Sahib.
Yeah.
How did you guys meet? Where did you find this guy? Because he's
Sahib.
vocally crazy.
Well, actually, I got introduced. He got introduced by Binder, who's the writer.
Okay.
Who wrote Morni and Pichani Chaddi as well, amongst other songs. And so he kind of found Sahib, and he wrote Pichani Chaddi, and basically they were like, look, we were looking for a singer basically for that song,
right?
And then Sahib we tried Sahib, and Sahib sounded like kind of fitted his voice nicely.
But was it like one of those things where you weren't feeling him first, or was it like literally love at first sight when it came to listening to his voice?
No, I did like his voice, definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like he's got a good voice, so I did like it, and he's got good pronunciation and all that and everything. But I mean, I think with the song and the singer, it has to be a little bit of a marriage of the right singer for the right song as well. So and then obviously the music has to fit on in terms of a marriage as well. So I think so. I mean, when I heard him sing the song, that's when I thought, it sounds good.
And I know you've continued to use him in the standard track as well. Are you going to be using him for more potential future work for sure?
Yeah, I think so. You can't always say what's going to happen in the future. I have got a couple of his songs recorded, and again, like I say, I mean, I'll probably be putting together the dub plates for those, see what kind of reaction I get of that.
Right. Yeah. And also as well, I actually wanted to ask, when you're like looking for an artist and stuff to feature on your albums or your songs, are you quite critical and quite particular? Like, you want them to sound a certain way, or do you have like a complete vision? How does it work?
Well, no, I think, it's like, first of all, most of the time we're looking for a song, and so after the song, kind of like, we need an artist to sing it, and then, you'd be surprised at, how many artists and singers are really good singers, but when they sing certain songs,
right,
they don't sound that good, and sometimes it's quite like blatantly obvious that that's the kind of right person for the song, and some songs even, we have got them sang by a couple of singers and stuff like that, and chosen one of the kind of like vocals because it's like the song kind of like, maybe it was a bit difficult or something like that, But no, most of the time, a singer will come along with a song or a certain style, and then it'll be something new, and so you kind of like.
But I've only found, like, within your catalogue of music, you've only stuck to a certain set of Panjabi vocalists. And, that is like, you've used Ashok Gill, using, the likes of Sahib
Jelly,
as well.
Jelly,
Jelly, all of these guys. You've got, like, I think a handful of,
late
Lab Janjua, obviously, from Monday the Bajke, but I'm just saying, like, in general, is it something that you like to, stay away from, like, using other artists, or is it something like you like to keep as your own collective of people that only come under Punjabi MC songs?
Yeah, no, I know it's not like that. I mean, I think with the singers, aforementioned singers, they are amazing singers. Yeah. And when basically, like, when I hear them singing songs, they're very tight, and so that's the main kind of thing I like to see is a good tight singer, who's kind of singing the song really well. And so, I mean, Ashok, I love his voice. Also Salim, Master Salim, he's like, I would say, I love his voice, So, I mean, I don't know if it's me that personally likes a specific type of voice or not, but I mean, I kind of like, I like singers that are like kind of more on a kind of like, because it's not, I don't like singers that are too classical, and I don't like singers that are not kind of classical enough either, so. Yeah.
So, but then, have you not thought about, because you're pretty much in like a bit of a position of power, as you say, as a producer.
Okay.
Worldwide, you're known, you've got track after track, a huge catalogue of music. You could pick up the phone up tomorrow and say, Sidhu Moosewala, you could say, Diljit Dosanjh, come, let's do a track. Why have you not decided to do something like that?
Well, I mean, because I don't think that's actually so true. I think you're being very kind there.
Come on, man. I'm just saying it straight off that, you could most definitely get in touch with these people and get a track put together.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have kind of like had those guys in my studio, right, and stuff like in the last couple of years and stuff, I mean, we kind of like potentially might do some stuff,
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I'm working on a project with Sherry Mind.
Okay.
At the moment, so and so like, because like with the album 56 Districts, I've gone a little bit more traditional Bhangra and kind of Desi style. So I did want to come a little bit more modern on this next release that I'm working on as well.
Will that be like a whole album, or will it just be single releases?
Yeah, I mean, it'll start with some singles now and then work into an album.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, that's quite interesting to hear, that obviously you are still, as well as doing the traditional stuff, you're still delving your way into the modern touch to keep I think what's the worst way of saying, keep your feet above water.
Yeah.
It's like literally just in that sense, like, because you can't, because I feel in today's musical society you can't become too traditional because you get left behind. You still have to have that sort of modern touch.
Yeah.
But like, do you feel that you have to continuously stay ahead of the game, or do you feel that you just got to move with the times?
No, you've got to stay ahead, man. Of the game, definitely. Because I mean, like, as I was, because you see, with me, just a quick past story. But like, a few years ago, like when I went on tour and stuff, there was kind of like, there was no iTunes or there was no Twitter and stuff, so I kind of like left the industry at kind of like at the time when Twitter and social media came in. So in a way I got a little bit left behind, and then I mean, now that I've kind of like come back off tour, you might say, in the last couple of years, so I've just started to kind of like update myself into all that now. So I mean, you definitely, I mean, obviously that was the first time I ever kind of like stepped away from the game, and then as soon as I turned around, it was like the whole thing had changed, So overnight, it just goes to show, that, if you don't keep up, then how far you would fall behind, basically,
What do you think is more so the future sound now? What do you think, people want to listen to, like in the Bhangra music industry, from your perspective?
Well, I mean, there's like I think everyone's got their own preference to what they want to hear. Obviously there's like there's like the gangster style, which kind of kicks off. But you see, Panjabi artists are like more worldwide now, and so like before there was the UK sound that people say, and then there was like the India sound. But now, obviously, you've got Panjabi artists in virtually every country, producing music.
Yeah.
And so, they've got a lot more different influences and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I think, I think right now people want different things.
And could you name me, I don't know, 3 artists who currently stand out to you right now in the industry?
Yeah, okay.
I'm not saying it's favoritism. Yeah. 3 artists who stands out to you right now.
If you're talking about like from India, I would say someone like Dorjeet, Badshah, and then
I know I put you on the spot, man.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to think of the rapper.
Bohemia.
Well, yeah, you could say
Raftar,
Bohemia, Raftar, but there's another kid that I've heard about the other day, and I thought, he might be coming through. But yeah, somewhere along those lines, But I think, at the end of the day, Raftar.
Okay.
You could say.
All right, so that's your top 3. And so, going back to your album and stuff, I know you spent a couple of years working on it because you were, on and off tour. You were busy traveling the world and stuff. What was your most favorite track to work on this album? What track is close to your heart that you really put your heart and soul into?
Well, I mean, this is the thing. It's that's what I'm trying to say. Going back to your previous question, just to bring it onto this question, is those 3 singers are like what I would call commercially killing it, or for what they're doing, in India and whatever. But my favorite artist on that level would be Sleem. Master Sleem at the moment, because of his kind of mental state he's in right now,
right.
What he's coming out with, I feel he's on a magical level. And so my favourite song on the album to work on this current album actually ended up being Gere Bindadi.
Gere Bindadi.
Yeah, with the Master Sleem one.
Right.
And I mean, that's because basically, first of all, you got Sleem on there, and then you got True School on there. And then you've got Dub Judah playing the bass and guitar.
So what did True School play? All the percussion?
Yeah. And then you got Shibu playing the Vajra, from India. So those 4 guys are at the moment, one at the moment, but to me, of my favourite people on earth, you might say. Most of my favourite people on earth. So to have all 4 of those guys on one song, was a pleasure to work on. Just to listen to the whole thing,
It's all, I think it's masters in their own game all coming together, really, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So once again, Asian Star 101.6 FM, myself, DJ Haashim, live right now, as we do each and every Friday night, and my special guest, live in the cut, Panjabi MC, will be back very, very shortly, listening to his favourite song of his brand new album, 56 Districts. It's Get It In, the Master Salim on the vocals on this one, and we're back straight after this.
You're listening to DJ Haashim on Asian Star Radio.
Asian Star 101.6 FM, welcome back. Just heard the track from the album 56 Districts, Get It Into the man himself who made the tune is live with me right now. Panjabi MC live here on Asian Star. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Sorry, man, we had to take a quick break. We had to listen to your favourite track of the album.
No, that's fine. I hope everybody enjoyed that. Yeah, that's, like I said, it's the favourite track from the album, 56 Districts, available on CD also.
Oh, yeah. See, this is what I'm saying. You're the first artist, I'd say, in the past 2 years I've been interviewing on this show who's handed me a physical copy of their CD. Yeah. So it's great to see you still...
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? Why don't artists do it? Because at the end of the day, if you're going to have an album or even a single, it doesn't actually cost that much to duplicate some CDs, a couple £100 for a short run, and it's good to just have them on physical.
I think people appreciate it more. Don't you think?
I do. Yeah,
I would. Don't you think that's a generational thing?
Probably. Yeah. Maybe.
You probably also hand out vinyls. Probably.
Yeah, we might get that one on vinyl as well, because a lot of people do funnily enough ask for vinyl. So
I'm a vinyl collector, so you have to send me.
The thing is with vinyl, I mean, the vinyl thing is, vinyl's still the most highest quality recording medium you can get, believe it or not, unless you're talking super high bandwidth digital. Vinyl's still the highest, but the thing is, if you convert a CD or a digital format to vinyl, then you're kind of defeating the object, you know. Because these guys, when they mix off an analog desk, and then they basically mix onto an analog tape, like a 2-inch, tape, from like a Struder tape it's called, and then they master their vinyl from there, just to give you that proper authentic sound, a big sound. So I mean, a lot of people just make vinyl straight off the CD, so it's a bit...
No, but it's pretty good to see that you're still, sticking to your roots and still going down that traditional way of promoting music and actually handing people physical CDs. Do a lot of people take them from you? Do a lot of people appreciate it? Yeah,
people do seem to appreciate, having a CD, because it's like, you see the photo on the computer of the front cover, but then you kind of get to open it up and stuff, I think,
You still do all your thank yous in there as well?
Yeah, do a little signed CD and stuff, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Let's go back as well. We were talking about the album, who you've worked with, how it's, come along and stuff. Let's talk, I think, future Panjabi MC. Going into this decade, I think you've been in the game for at least 2-3 decades now, right?
I think 2, yeah.
2. I'm not going to say
at least 2.
2, yeah. So you've been actively in the Bhangra music industry for 2 decades.
Yeah.
What's coming for the third, do you reckon?
Hard to predict, that's what I can say, it's up to the big man up there, but I'm definitely more inside the lab now, more in the studio now. I kind of like I said, I thought, you could kind of come back to it without getting left behind, but it's a fast moving game, so I'm going to stick into the studio more,
So what did you have to do to bring yourself up to speed? What did you have to take some time out for yourself, start listening to the top 40 again, and what was it?
No, I mean, to be honest, the whole thing changed, obviously selling music changed. There was no CDs and stuff like that, obviously, but iTunes and obviously
piracy's still big.
Piracy obviously went a lot bigger, and then in the studio itself, recording on laptops, I used to see people on planes making music, and obviously playing live, using Strato or record box with USBs, and I used to be still spinning off CDs and stuff, So I had to just take a break and then update the whole lot, So now I kind of up to date with the record box, macking out, sets now, with that, and using laptops on planes, so it's not a problem.
So you're really up with the technology now.
Yeah.
And even musically, are you bringing your library? Are you bringing it more up to date now with more of the modern touch, including hip hop and stuff? Especially because of how much hip hop has changed from the influence you had on your the hip hop influence you had on Panjabi MC's original tracks when you first came out to now. Are you going to look to maybe influence them to future tunes?
Yeah, I mean, as a DJ, I've always kept up to date with kind of commercial songs anyway, and try to produce a long part. But definitely with the stuff in the studio that guys are using, the processors and whatever, and the VST instruments and the sounds they're using has led to a certain specific change in the hip hop sound. Yeah. So because I'm using that stuff, I will probably be following a suit in that sound, definitely.
Yeah. And as well, are you would we see any chance of Panjabi MC going into Bollywood, working in Bollywood?
Yeah, I guess I would love to go to Bollywood and work in Bollywood. My number, I'll put my number live on air now if you need it. But
I don't want people calling you.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Bollywood's great. Bollywood's it's like it's a huge game. It's like it's the mainstream of India, what you might call.
Because Zeus is already in Bollywood. He's doing a lot of work in India, and as well as the films, he's working with a lot of Indian artists as well. Yeah. But have you not maybe thought to have a chat, or has anybody from India not approached you? Even while you're out recording in Punjab.
Yeah, I guess people do approach me for certain projects, and I have actually done some stuff, for some films and stuff in the past, So
Munde Ab the Bachke featured in a Bollywood film, I think, quite recently.
There's a few songs have been licensed, definitely, from the catalogue. But the thing is, I've also made some fresh stuff for Bollywood and stuff as well. So anything.
And so what's your thoughts on in this day and age you see regularly, especially in Bollywood releases, so as a radio presenter and a DJ, I hear tunes come out weekly. On a Thursday I will get my roundup of tunes which have come out. Bollywood at the moment are, I'd say, constantly putting out tracks which are recycled from the Punjabi music industry, giving it a revamp. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I guess if it's working for them guys, for the industry, then that's fine. My personal thoughts are that it's not a bad thing because it's bigging up the Bhangra industry as well. It's not the artists who are getting featured on those films, they're getting bigged up. My only reservation would be that sometimes the versions they do aren't so reflective of the original version, and sometimes it feels like they don't understand the song they've taken, but if it works, it works, I think.
But then, as well as that, you've got the Panjabi film industry, which is quite big as well. Would you even could you see yourself moving into that sort of market as well quite quickly?
Yeah, sure.
Rather than Bollywood.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think with all this stuff, it's a lot of politics, involved, and maybe that's why I shy away a little bit away from that, But I mean, I'm happy to work on Punjabi films.
Also, as well, I actually wanted to ask you: is it like are you like willing as a producer to take on somebody new under your wing as your protege? Could you say? Are you actively looking, or are you always on the lookout?
Well, the thing about me is I haven't really ever asked anyone to commit to a deal or anything per se, but people do kind of have a little bit of loyalty to, in terms of like when I ask them to do a song, they will be there to do that song. But yeah, for new guys, I mean, I'm always looking for singers and stuff,
And for somebody who's listening in right now, how would they get in touch with you?
The website. I'm happy to listen to stuff, But obviously, we're looking high quality vocals and stuff like that, really,
Any advice for anyone who's up and coming now, who's looking up at you, at your catalogue of music, and what you've done over the past 2 decades? Any bit of advice you can give them?
Yeah, it's got to be high quality. No, but I would say, have fun, because, like I said, you get a lot of having fun at work. If you're not having fun at work, then you're probably not in the right job. And I notice a lot of people, if they're not, people say to me, look, they're going to do this verse and they're going to do this, but then a few months go by and they haven't done the verse, then it's probably not the game for you. If you don't wake up in the morning like 2 verses already done and then you're writing another 2, then why are you doing it? So that's my advice.
And anyway, so we're going to continue as well talking about your mainstream work as well, because obviously over the past 2 decades, you've had some right phenomenal moments in your career. Having Jay-Z feature Munde Aate Bach Ke, he's featured on your track. Are you ever going to get an opportunity like that again, do you reckon?
Yeah, I hope so. Like I say, I'm back in the lab now, so do
you still have contact with his team?
With Jay-Z, yes. I mean, we can't, his management and stuff like that. People stay in touch with my people, that kind of thing. Yeah, we could always do something with the label, But at the moment, like I said, I have been a little bit out of the lab, out of the studio a little bit, So we can kind of like put it down to that situation, I would say.
And what could you highlight 3 things which have been, ideal moments over the past 2 decades for you? As a DJ and a producer, what have been your top 3 highlights for you? Being whether it, traveling the world or release of an album.
Yeah,
I think your biggest moments.
Probably Jay-Z jumping on Munde Aate Bach Ke would have to be probably number 1 on the list, because again, like, it was such a game-changing moment, for the whole of the Bhangra industry and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I just remember like him when he made the call and like basically he was rapping on the phone, and it was like I just thought to myself, I've never heard anything like that before. So that would probably be number 1. Number 2, I guess, like, Spike Lee jumping on his film, like just randomly getting a call from Spike Lee, we'll have to go down there as well on the list, and like maybe that MTV award or something like that, jump that in there.
That's brilliant, man. You've really achieved a lot, I'd say, in your time in the industry, man. It's great to see you, of course, flying the flag for the UK Bhangra industry. Simply because I say this because of recent, in the last 3 to 4 years, there's been a huge decline in the Bhangra music industry. Don't you feel the same?
Well, I guess there's been more competition from India.
But India's dominating at the moment, I feel.
Dominating, and also I would say more Punjabis from around the world generally are dominating now, because, I mean, at one stage, India really didn't have that technology, and the access to studios and stuff like that, I mean, unless you was that kind of super rich or working in a Bollywood film or something. Yeah. But now, with the laptop and with the software, everybody's got access, or every kid's got access to the same high-tech studio, And so, I mean, England isn't just the only place anymore. So, at one time, we were kind of like the only place, but now it's like the world. I think what's probably happened, we still got producers, but we're just competing with a lot more.
But then Canada's also taken over as well.
Canada, Europe as well,
But at the same time, look, I still feel there is a lack of UK talent. I don't know why. I don't know why there is no hunger for it. There was a time pre-2010 where, the UK industry was doing pretty well. Yeah. But, do you not feel that there's no motivation for UK emerging artists to be that dominant and to be on that level, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. I haven't really analysed it too much, but if you think about it, music in terms of the income from sales and the competition out there and the amount of effort you need to put in, everything's gone up now. Because don't forget, before you made a song and then you did like a promotional tour. But now you've got to constantly be on social media as well. So that's like another job, Not forgetting the fact that your only income's coming in from shows, not from sales.
Yeah, of course. Times have changed in that way.
Times have changed, So I would say where you look in India, you've got like 100 million people. Over here you've got 1 to 2 million people to market some music to. So, it's probably something to do with something along those lines, I would say.
But then at the same time, you say the guys in India, they work on a lower income than us. Their currency is far lower than us. How do you think they earn? They can't be doing that many shows in comparison to the guys here.
No, they are. I mean, you'd be surprised because there's like more money in India than in England by far, in terms of shows, in terms of sales, in terms of publishing, whatever. Because there's a lot more people. When I do shows in India, it's funny because the first show I did like years ago, and then I seen like Pepsi, Coke, Mercedes, all these sponsors, plastered up. I said to the guy, "Yo, how did you get these like mainstream promoters, sponsoring?" And he goes, "This is India. We are the mainstream." I thought, and I realised, oh yeah, of course, they're the mainstream out there. We Indians are the mainstream in India. So it's like over here we're like a obviously a minority. In India we're not a minority. The Indians. So it's obviously Pepsi and all those people. They're marketing through those guys, and Bhangra music there is like mainstream music. It's not like a minority music,
How it is here for us, pretty much. Yeah, I've just got to say thank you, man. You've been an absolute pleasure chatting to you, and you're obviously catching up about your album and stuff like that.
No,
and I hope the album does great, and I'm sure it will, because you know what, you've got a track record of great releases, great singles. When can we expect another track from you after the album? Now, when are we looking?
No, thanks for that. Yeah, I mean, it's I hope it does well, because it's kind of stepping back a little bit to the retro, to the 90s and everything. And the next one I'm working on is a little bit more modern. So I'm saying the single should be out, within a few months and stuff.
Ready for summer?
Well, yeah, ready for spring. And
brilliant.
then hopefully the album looking late summer or something.
Okay, so you're going to hit another album already later this year?
Hopefully, touch with anything. Like it's also up to the big man.
That'd be brilliant. That'd be brilliant to hear. But yeah, it's great to hear the real folk touch you put on the album as well.
Thank you, man.
And I'm sure all the Asian Star listeners will enjoy listening to it anyway. Any final words from you before we head off?
No, yeah, I just want to say thank you, to all the people throughout listening to Asian Star around the hood. So look at lovely being back here in the area. It's been a long time coming, so keep me coming all the time. Watch out for the album 56 Districts, and love.
Thank you very much. Panjabi MC at Asian Star 101.6 FM, kickstarting the decade, I'd say, in style. My first interview of 2020, and I'd say it's been an honour. So thank you very much.
Yeah, absolute pleasure.
See you soon, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Asian Star.